कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you again for joining, and it's a great opportunity to connect with you all on this auspicious evening. For Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Srila Prabhupada has given us this treasure of devotional service to Sri Radha Krishna, and in that context, the appearance of Radhakunda along with Shamkunda and the other places of Vrindavan Dham are very, very significant in our spiritual journey, personally and collectively. Like whenever we have our personal meditations, we can connect with these places, and when we go on pilgrimage again, we can visit these places and relish the spiritual potency that's present over there. So some of you who may not have visited Vrindavan may try going to Radhakunda next time, because today is the day when all the devotees, thousands of devotees, go to Radhakund to take darshan and also take the waters on their head, which is nothing but the liquid form of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna's loving devotional relationship. And as Prabhuji was mentioning, it's Ashtami, Shukla Ashtami of Kartika. And I will also, in the beginning, pray to Srimati Radharani and Radhakunda with the help of two verses that we have in our Veda base. The first one is actually mentioned it's actually originating in Padma Puran. It is mentioned in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, and it's also mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 4th chapter, which is the chapter of the internal reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in that, verse number 215, particularly glorifies Srimati Radharani and her Radhakunda. So let's chant it together, or maybe I will sing and some of you may sing again after me. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnos Tasyaha Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarvagopishu Saivika Vishnor Atyantavallabha. Would anybody like to sing, or can I repeat the words? So I will say it again. Yatha Radha Priya Vishnos Tasyaham Kundam Priyam Tatham Sarva Gopishu Saivikam Vishnor Atyantavallabham. So just as Radharani is very dear to Krishna, her Kunda is also as dear to Krishna. And just like she is the best among the gopis, the special place of Sri Radhakunda is also very, very special. So that's the meaning of it. And in the Nectar of Instruction, which is Upadeshamrita written by Rupa Goswami Maharaj, there is verse number 10, which also glorifies the ultimate significance of Sri Radhakunda in the spiritual journey of a jiva, because there Rupa Goswami gives the hierarchy like Karma Yogi, Jnani, and Bhakta. But beyond Bhakta are the gopis, and the best of the gopis is Srimati Radharani, and the best is her Radhakunda. So who will not go and worship Sri Radhakunda? That's what Chilarupa Goswami says in Nectar of Instruction. Now, there are a couple of stories also connected to that. One is the Bahulashtami, because that's the day of Bahulashtami, and I will mention a few things about that. And so it is mentioned that once Bhagavan Krishna wanted to get rid of one of the asuras, as he used to do on a daily basis, as Kamsa used to send. So there was a demon called Arishtashur, and he was in the form of a bull. And Bhagavan Krishna, he killed him as usual with his Leela. And right away, he came to see the gopis. And Srimati Radharani mentioned to him that uh, because they were joking with him. So Shri Radha and all the gopis jokingly said to Krishna that they cannot accompany him anymore because he has killed a bull, and a bull is like a gohatya. So he said that they said that bull is the symbol of religion, and you have made a great sin, so we cannot accompany. We don't want your company anymore. So then they said that what's the alternative? What's the solution? So they said that you see, if you want to get clean, then you have to take bath in the holy rivers of all the pilgrimage places of this entire universe. So that was very impractical in one sense, that Krishna could not. They thought that, oh, let's see what happens, what Krishna says, because we are giving him this big condition that go all the holy rivers and the pilgrimage places, collect the water, and then bathe in those waters and come back to us, because then you'll be pure. So now Krishna, he doesn't have to go anywhere. So what he did, that he touched his, of course he was touching, he was on the ground, standing on the ground, but with his holy lotus feet, he made a small ditch, and then he requested all the holy rivers from all over the universe to come and appear over there. So it is said that the Lord excavated a hole in the land with his tiny heel, and all the rivers in the liquid forms like Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Narmada, Kaveri, they entered in that small ditch, and it became like a pool, and that's the Shamakunda. And we also say Gange Yamune Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalismin Sannidhim Kuru. So we also say that if you want to purify ourselves while bathing, we say the same mantra with all those rivers. So they came and they made the big Shamakunda. Now, to cut short the story, what happened after that, Krishna took the bath in the holy, in the Shamakunda, and then he appeared in front of the gopis. Now I'm pure. I would like to accompany you. So, but then he was also joking, and he said that now you also. 1 second, let me recall the story here. He said, Lord Krishna took bath, and then you all took, the Krishna said that now you all took the side of this asura, that you were fighting with me on behalf of this asura, that I made the sin. Now you are also sinful because you took the side of asura. So now you also have to get clean. Now what happened in Radharani and the gopis, they took a big ditch that was formed with the body of Arishtasura falling there, and then they created a small hole, and they started bringing water from. It is mentioned that Manasi Ganga, but that was a big Herculean task for them, because to bring water from Manasi Ganga would take a lot of manual efforts. And Krishna, being very kind to his devotees, and he saw how Radharani and gopis were working very hard to get clean so that they can reunite with Krishna again. He could not bear that their efforts or their hard work, and then he requested all the holy waters that were in the Shamakunda to also appear in Radhakunda. And that way, no, first he took permission of Radharani, and then with the Radharani's permission, all the rivers from Shamakunda also appeared in Radhakunda, and that's how Radhakunda appeared. So it is mentioned that um, Radharani then accepted this help, and then they all got purified. So this is just a pastime, because neither Krishna nor Radharani nor neither gopis were impure by any reason. Now, I want to spend like another 15 minutes or so on another way of celebrating this Radhakunda and the remembrance of Radhakunda, Srimati Radha, and Krishna. So, in our personal sadhana, we could always meditate on different aspects of this pastime. So, I'm going to share with you some of the meditations that can relate to this story, and um, we will meditate on this quality of Krishna, which is displayed in this story, that Krishna is extremely clever. So, in our meditation, we may see that a clever person is one who can perform various types of work at once, an expert multitasker. Okay, so we all know the term multitasking because we all do that all the time. But here in this story, Krishna is the supreme multitasker. Okay, and because he's performing various types of works at the same time very expertly. So um, he went to kill Arishtashura. So we can imagine that his bhav was very different. He was trying to kill Asura without unnecessary anger, because whenever he kills whenever he kills a demon, he is still very much smiling. But at the same time, the task is of killing, so it's a very different kind of bhava, right? And as soon as he finishes that task, he appears in front of gopis and Radharani in a very, very different bhava, in a very loving bhava. So it is mentioned that Krishna's cleverness is that he performed his different pastimes without getting stressed or rushed by anything. So when he was trying to kill Aristasur, he was 100% there. He was God himself, but at the same time, he was performing this activity or lila. And then we never see Krishna as stressed or rushing. So we can imagine or meditate on this beautiful form of Krishna, who is holding the horn of this bull and swaying and dumping him down and killing him. And then immediately he coming in front of the gopis and Radharani as a very charming person, as a very charming, loving lover, their lover. And with his glances, he's sending his compassionate love upon them. And it's mentioned that, like when you're meditating, what we could meditate upon is that in this way, all the time, Krishna is doing different activities of killing demons, taking care of all these demoniac activities. And then suddenly he charms the gopis with his glances while he fights demons at the same time. Or he composes songs about the cowherd boys while simultaneously herding the cows. And his cleverness is endless and always pleasing. So that's one meditation I thought was very relevant here. The other one is that Krishna is expert, is the most expert, he's the supreme expert person. And let me read something again for helping our meditation, that um, while a devotee is quickly and gorgeously dressing the deities on a festival day, or cooking tasty preparations quickly, or conveying tremendous inspiration to an audience in a short speech, we are in fact witnessing a fraction of Krishna's expertise manifesting through them. So the meditation is that any devotional service we are doing expertly, or getting expert by repeatedly doing that same service again and again, we can imagine or we can meditate that Krishna is that original expert from whom I'm getting all these energies to perform the service. Similarly, we are sometimes amazed when we face a daunting job and know how to do it intuitively, such as solving a problem that a team agonizes over, or we accomplish something perfectly in moments that we thought would take many, many weeks to complete. So often, such expertise is the result of years of study under expert guidance of a great master. Yet, in the ultimate sense, the supreme expert is always giving us that guidance. So, even though we have so many hours we spend, so many days, so many years we spend on that service, by getting help from everywhere, from devotees or from our own hard work, and yet we can always meditate inside that Krishna is that expert from whom we are getting all this um, guidance and potencies to do devotional service. So, in this way, in this story also, when Radharani and gopis were trying to dig with their ornaments, mentioned that they have this big ditch which is formed because of the Arishtasura's body, and they utilize that ditch to make a kunda. For that, they're using their ornaments, they're doing a lot of hard work, and when it gets into the shape of a little pond, they start bringing water from Manasi Ganga. So all this expert, and finally what happens that they get this amazing mercy of Krishna, and they get the waters of the holy rivers right in the kunda. So this service that they performed is actually being projected on, or being directed on the with them, rather being directed by Krishna himself, because he is the ultimate expert and he has all the ideas. He doesn't have to think over, oh, now what to do, how to solve their problem, how to bring this water to their kunda also. No, because he's the Supreme Lord, he's so expert that within fraction of a second he's already achieved the job. And similarly, when we are doing different tasks, in devotional service, sometimes we are faced with problems like, okay, what to do in the last minute, especially in the cooking. All the ladies, we know that there is so much of something or the other goes wrong, and it's never works as planned. No matter how much you plan, it never works. So at that time, if we always have a chance to meditate on Krishna and say, you are the one who gives me intelligence, and please, at this moment, please guide me from inside my heart, and please resolve this. And then we do sometimes come across some ideas which are very instant and they work, and we continue with our devotional service. So at that time, we can also remember and meditate on Krishna in that way. Now, the third uh, the meditation, which is probably the last one, is that again, it's connected to this story. It says we can always meditate how Krishna is pure, because Radharani is telling Krishna, oh, you are not pure because you killed the bull, and then Krishna in turn teases them that now you are not pure, and they both get into this argument. So in that sense, we can always think how Krishna is the purest of the pure. So Krishna possesses two kinds of purity. One is that the ability to deliver a sinful person, and the second is to never do anything impure by which to get contaminated. And here it's very much true that Krishna, even though he killed Arishtasura as a cow, as a bull, but there was nothing impure in his killing, because Krishna, whatever he does, it is never contaminating for himself. And similarly, the second purity is that he's able to deliver the sinful persons, because this Arishtasura or the hundreds of other asuras who were sinful, Kamsa, who were sinful, but Krishna has the ability to purify them. So he purifies others, and by his own actions, he never gets impure. So in that way, we can meditate on that quality of Krishna being 100% pure. Now, the meditation could be like this: that the sun, when we see the sun in the sky, we can always meditate that how Krishna's purity is reflecting through the sun, because the sun can purify even a dirty place, and it never gets contaminated after the purity of the sunlight. So even the ordinary fire we use in cooking has as the same quality. Places that give us access to clean air, clean water, and uncontaminated soil certainly remind us that the original state of nature is purity, and ability to purify that which is impure. When we associate with Krishna daily through chanting his holy names, we directly experience becoming purified and insulated from impurity. So that's the third meditation, that just as um, Krishna demonstrated to us that yes, even if somebody says that you're impure, he has the capacity to instantly prove that he's pure. Similarly, for gopis, even though he jokingly told them that you are impure, but he himself brought the holy rivers into Radhakunda and made them pure. And so-called pure, because they were again not impure, but he made them so-called pure. Similarly, for us, we can always imagine that we are associating with Krishna through his holy names, because Krishna is present in his holy names. He is Abhinatva Nama Namino. So he's not different from his name. And that's why when we directly experience his association, his holy name, we also experience becoming purified of the impurities that we have collected over many, many lifetimes, just as Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpan Marjanam. And this is also works as an insulation where we never get impure once we are spiritually purified. So in this, again, this story can remind us about this beautiful quality of Krishna as the purest of the pure, the supreme pure. And if I have time, I could add one more meditation, which could be the last one. So, here the gopis tease Krishna that you killed the bull, but the bull is the symbol of religion, dharma, right? So here, actually, Krishna is religion. That is the meditation. So those who act and teach in accordance with scripture and moral codes exemplify the religious quality of the Lord. Actually, let me read the first one also. Being religious is described as having two components: practicing religious principles as they're given in Shastra and teaching these principles to others. So, we say patana and patana, which means the devotee will do the study himself or herself and then teach to others. So, Krishna did both perfectly and is thus known to possess the quality of religiousness. Now, here also in this story, we can see that he first of all demonstrated how to become pure from a so-called sin. And then he also demonstrated or taught the gopis how to get pure, right? So he did both these things, and that's why he's called the quality of religiousness. By his example, he showed how to conduct household life according to the Shastra and spoke the profound truths of Bhagavad Gita simply and eloquently for our benefit. So again, when Krishna acted in the Grihastha with his 16,108 queens, he was perfect demonstrator of how to live a household life. And then he also taught Arjuna. So again, doing himself and then teaching to others. Thus, whenever we are learning the principles of religion, especially with a qualified and giving teacher, we may remember Krishna as the perfect embodiment of religiousness. So when we study scripture, we could meditate how Krishna is this origin of all the religions, and he's the maker. They say in the Bhagavatam, it is said that religion comes from Krishna, comes from God. You cannot manufacture religion. So the final reading is this, that those who act and teach in accordance with scripture and moral codes, they exemplify this religious quality of Krishna. In nature, the movements of the stars demonstrate religiousness in the universal body of God. The stars and planets only move in strict obedience to his cosmic laws, and their movements can be calculated for thousands of years, both past and future. And the placements of those heavenly bodies indicate our dharma and right path of action in the form of astrological readings. I think this last paragraph might need more meditation. I don't think we have time for that, but I hope this was useful in short and brief, that you could take these meditations tonight for meditating on Krishna, Srimati Radharani, and their beloved Radhakunda. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much, devotees.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Madaji. Such a wonderful, brief explanation and the details of Radhakund appearance in the past times, how we can imbibe those lessons and those pastimes to us. That's what is, whenever we hear the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, it's actually for us. Lord's appearance is not that just for one purpose, but many. One of that aspect is that he's teaching us how can also be purified just by remembering him. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me the chance to serve. Hare
No
Krishna.
problem. Thank you. So, are you able to take any questions? Anybody has any questions
Sure.
for maybe 1 minute? So, and we'll go for the next segment of our program, Brajamandal Parikrama. Today we are going to the Govardhan to Radhakund. So, everybody stay tuned. Just a minute. So, if meantime, if anybody has any questions, please go ahead. Let me see, where is my, yeah, it's here. Hare Krishna, are you all ready to go to Govardhan?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Ready?
Haribol. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Let me share this. Let me know if you are able to hear the sound and the video.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, very good.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, today is the day 7 of Brajmandal Parikrama and we are in the most auspicious and sacred of all places, Giriraj Govardhan, Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Do you know what was the last desire of Srila Prabhupada when he was physically with us in this mortal world? It was to perform the Parikrama of Govardhan. Srila Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur prayed for the shelter and residence at Giriraj Govardhan. All our Acharya, Srila Sanatan Goswami would perform Giriraj Parikrama every single day. Following in the footsteps of all Acharyas, will be performing this Govardhan Parikrama. It's 23 kilometers long. And what makes this Parikrama even more special, that today we'll be having the association of Srila Prabhupada's disciple, His Grace Deen Bandhu Prabhuji. We'll also be hearing from His Grace Krishna Bhajan Prabhuji. So today it's a very, very special day. We'll be performing Parikrama in the most auspicious month of Kartik. So let us begin the Parikrama now. Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai.
So today is day 7 of our Braj Mandala Parikrama. We'll be doing Govardhan Parikrama. Our first stop is Kusum Sarovara, then Radhakund. We'll go to Manasi Ganga, Haridev Temple, Danagati Mandir, our ISKCON Bhaktivedanta Ashram. Then we'll go to Anior, Govinda Kund, Pancharika Lota Baba, pass by Jatipur, then Urvakund, and we'll finish at our Radhakund. Shri Radhakund ki Jai, Gita Govardhana ki Jai.
The length and breadth of Govardhan Hill in Goloka Vrindavan exceeds the boundaries of the mundane imagination. One of Govardhan's names is Shatshringa, he who is crowned with 100 peaks. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in his Govinda Lilamrita, says that Govardhan resembles a peacock. Radhakund and Shamakund are the peacock's eyes, and Punchari is its tail. Raghunath Das Goswami calls Govardhan Hill the tilak mark on the forehead of Braj. The Garga Samhita tells us that when Sri Krishna was getting ready to appear on earth, he asked Srimati Radharani to go a little ahead of him. She replied that she could not be happy in a place where there was no Vrindavan, no Jamuna, or no Govardhan Hill. So the Lord manifested a portion of Goloka Vrindavan on earth. Govardhan Hill, however, did not appear in Braj immediately. Instead, he appeared as the son of Mount Drona to the west of Bharadvaj and Salmali Dweep. The story of how he arrived in Braj is described like this. One day, as Palastya Rishi was traveling through Salmali Dweep, he saw the beauty of Govardhan and became attracted. He decided to take the mountain back to Kashi, where Lord Shiva is worshipped. There are no mountains in Kashi, and the sage thought he and other sages could sit on Govardhan and do their austerities there. He approached Govardhan's father, Drone, and begged for his son in charity. Father and son were filled with sorrow at the thought of being separated from one another, but Mount Drona could not refuse. He feared the curse of the powerful sage. Govardhan, however, agreed to go on one condition. Wherever Palastya Rishi set him down, he would stay there. Palastya Rishi agreed, and lifting Govardhan Hill in his right hand, began the journey back to Kashi. While passing through Braj, however, Govardhan remembered his previous life and understood that he had to remain there. He knew the Lord would later appear in Vrindavan to walk on his body and play with his cows and friends on his summit. He knew the Lord would also enjoy many pastimes in his caves. So he made himself heavier and heavier until the Rishi was exhausted. Forgetting their agreement, the Rishi set Govardhan down. The sage, resting a while, then bathed and returned to lift Govardhan so they could resume their journey. But as he tried to lift him, Govardhan would not budge. He reminded Palastya Muni of their agreement. The sage, whose desire was frustrated, angrily cursed Govardhan to sink into the ground by the size of one mustard seed a day. At that time, Govardhan was 2 yojanas, 16 miles high. Today, he is only about 80 feet tall at his highest point.
After Nanda Maharaj and the Brajavasis performed the very first Govardhan Puja, they also did parikrama along with Krishna and Balaram. Even now there are people who perform Govardhan parikrama every day. On the occasion of a full or new moon, the number of pilgrims increases. And on auspicious days, like Govardhan Puja and Guru Purnima, which is also the disappearance day of Sanatana Goswami, there are thousands of pilgrims circumambulating Giriraj. Before we begin, we offer our humble obeisances to Giriraj and beg his permission to circumambulate him. Giri Govardhan ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Our first stop is Kusum Sarovara, Kusuma means flower. This lake is one of the most spectacular in Braj. Its clear, green waters invite us to invigorate our minds with the enthusiasm to continue our walk around Govardhan. The noble architecture of the temple overlooks the lake. The building is a relic of perfect Vedic construction, symmetrical and majestic. There is a kunja on the southern bank of Kusum Sarovar called Ashok Lata. Here, Krishna braided Srimati Radharani's hair. Behind Ashok Lata is a small temple where a deity of Uddhava is worshipped. This place is known as Uddhava Baitak. Krishna sent Uddhava to convey a message to the gopis, and we will visit the place where Uddhava delivered that message on the 17th day of our parikrama. Uddhava became so overwhelmed by the intensity of the gopis' love that he prayed to become a creeper or a clump of grass in Braj, so he could receive on his head the dust from their lotus feet. Uddhava's desire was fulfilled, and he lives here in Kusum Sarovara as a clump of grass.
The Srimad Bhagavatam Mahatmya narrates an extraordinary pastime that took place after Uddhava became a clump of grass here. Once, after the departure of Krishna and the Yadus, the Lord's queens were advised by their co-wife Kalindi to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Uddhava in order to mitigate their intense feelings of separation from their Lord. Kalindi, who is Jamuna Devi, explained how when Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, the gopis had all eased their suffering by hearing from the Lord's cousin and intimate friend, Uddhava. So the queens, accompanied by Brajanath and Parikshit Maharaj, came to Kusum Sarovara to search for Uddhava, aware that he was living there as grass. On arriving, they began to glorify the Lord with venas, mridangas, and other instruments. Finally, as the kirtan built to a climax, Uddhava appeared in his original form and joined in the singing and dancing. For some time, everyone present forgot themselves, merged in an ocean of bliss, and chanting the holy names with great ecstasy. Then they sat down to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Uddhava. Parikshit Maharaj, however, was given a different task by Uddhava. He was asked to search out and subdue Kali. Indeed, the age of quarrel had already begun, and Uddhava knew that Kali would try to disturb his recitation of the Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj was disappointed he wouldn't be in the audience, but Uddhava assured him he shouldn't worry. Soon enough he would hear Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by none other than Srila Shukadeva Goswami. Parikshit Maharaj offered his respects and left, and Uddhava began to recite to all those still present. As the recitation progressed, those present became more and more absorbed in it. Gradually, they began to see the Lord's wonderful pastimes, and eventually they entered into them, never to return to this world again. Thus they achieved the topmost perfection of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Indeed, what higher goal can be attained by one who with rapt attention hears about the sweetness of Sham Sundar and contemplates the love of the Brajavasi.
गोकुल तरुणी मंडल महिते
Sorry, it's buffering. Sorry for that. Just a minute. I think that's some network connection issues. Hare Krishna. Sorry,
Krishna
buffering
Prabhuji.
some
Hare
network. Hare Krishna. Just a minute. It's coming back. There's some network issues, connection issues.
वर्धन वेश हरिनिष्कुट वृंदा विपिनेश राधे जय जय माधव दयिते गोकुल तरुणी मंडल महिते राधे जय जय माधव दयिते माधव दयिते.
Now we're here, and just like the queens, we too feel separation from our Lord. We want to see all the wonderful pastimes described in Scripture. The queens were advised to come here to hear Krishna Katha, and by their sincere adherence to this suggestion, they entered the Lord's pastimes. We pray that by our own attentive and eager hearing, we too may one day attain the same good fortune.
We cross the main road, and leaving the Parikrama path, we walk about half a kilometer down a side road to Nardavan. This is the small forest where Narada Muni wrote the Narada Bhakti Sutras. The Bhakti Ratnakara mentions that he also performed austerities here on Vrinda Devi's instruction. Narada Muni had a strong desire to see the conjugal pastimes of Radha and Krishna at Radhakund, but he had a male body, so was unable to enter the area where these pastimes were taking place. The only male in the conjugal ras is Krishna. One day, this exalted sage revealed his mind to Vrinda Devi, who advised him to live in Braj and perform austerities. This order was Vrinda Devi's blessing, and by it, Narada attained a suitable form in which he could fulfill his most cherished desire. Govinda Devi took Narada to Kushum Sarovara and told him to dip into the water. When he emerged, he was Naradi Gopi. There is a kund here called Radhakund. The small nearby temple is home to a deity of Narada Muni, and we respectfully bow down at his lotus feet. Anyone who trusts these instructions spoken by Narada and is convinced by them will be blessed with devotion and attain the most dear Lord. Yes, he will attain the most dear Lord. Returning to the Parikrama path, we head toward Govardhan town, passing Shambhan on our right. There is mention of a Ratna Singhasan, a jewel throne, on which Srimati Radharani would sit while enjoying her pastimes in the forest. The Bhakti Ratnakara states that Krishna killed the Sankachuta demon when the demon was trying to kidnap the gopis here. The Lord then took the valuable jewel, which resembles a conch, from his head and presented it to Lord Balaram. Sankachuta is an expansion of Sridham, Srimati Radharani's brother. And of course, there's a story behind all this. According to the Garga Samhita, an event took place in the spiritual world that involved cursing and counter-cursing between these transcendental siblings. This resulted in Sridham appearing as Sankachuta and Srimati Radharani having to suffer 100 years of separation from her beloved Krishna after he left Vrindavan. Eventually, Sankachuta regained his original position after being killed by the Lord. After Krishna killed Vatsasura, his friends teased him about having committed the sin of killing a calf, and they advised him to atone by bathing in the Ganga. Of course, we know the Supreme Lord can never be contaminated by anything he does, and the cowherd boys knew this too. But for their pleasure, Krishna manifested the Ganga from his mind, mana, and then bathed in her waters. Hence, this place is known as Manasi Ganga. This pastime took place on Deepavali, the day preceding Govardhan Puja. Deepavali is only a week away, and on that day, Manasi Ganga will be decorated with the shining lamps of thousands of pilgrims. Once, when Nanda Maharaj wanted to go on pilgrimage to the Ganga, Krishna advised him to bathe right here instead. These sweet, placid waters were also the stage of Krishna's delightful boat pastimes. Manasi Ganga was at one time quite a large lake. Once, Srimati Radharani and the gopis came to the Manasi Ganga with their pots of yogurt and other milk preparations, hoping to cross over. Krishna disguised himself as a boatman and offered to take them across in a boat made of pulash leaves. Sri Radha said,
"Oh friend, spreading out leaves, he had us get into the boat, comforting us with helpful words, saying that I will get you across the river. And when he reached the middle of the river, he asked us for the toll. Having kept the boat steady, did he then not make it unsteady by moving it crookedly?"
The toll Krishna asked the gopis to pay was all their milk products. If they didn't feed him, he explained, he wouldn't have the strength to go further. The Lord then ate everything they had. Afterwards, he lay down to take a nap, asking the gopis to massage his arms and legs. They replied that they would throw him overboard if he didn't start rowing immediately. Krishna rowed for some time and then again stopped. This time, he claimed the boat was sinking because it was too heavy. He convinced them to throw all their jewelry and yogurt pots overboard. Soon after, by the Lord's desire, a storm arose, and he started rocking the boat. Srimati Radharani became so frightened that she put her arms around the boatman. At that moment, she realized he was none other than her beloved Shyamasundar.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Now we'll stay here. Please settle down. Now we'll be hearing from Srila Prabhupada's disciple, His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhuji. His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhuji although he's from US, but he has spent almost 4 decades here in Sri Vrindavan Dham, taking devotees to parikrama at various spots. He himself is a Brajvasi, and all Brajvasis consider His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu as Brajvasi. And wherever he is, anyone hearing from Dinabandhu Prabhu, his consciousness is immediately transported to Govardhan, to Vrindavan, to Braj Dham. And now we are sitting in Braj Dham, and we have this opportunity to hear from Prabhuji. So let us welcome His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhuji by chanting Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to the 7th day of Braj Mandal Parikrama. And today we're going to go on Parikrama of Govardhan. Bolo Sigaraj Maharaj Ki Jai. So just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the first place we come to is Kusum Sarovar. Although Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions that Mahaprabhu came to Suman Sarovar. But Suman and Kusum both mean the same thing, flowers. Here there used to be so many beautiful flower gardens. And Radharani and all the Sakhis used to come here to pick flowers, to make garlands for Krishna, to meet Krishna at Radhakund, which is just a little ways down the road. One time she was picking flowers, and Krishna was watching from the bushes. So he came there, and he said, "Hey, why are you stealing these flowers? We come here every day to pick flowers. No one ever stopped us. No, this garden belongs to King Kamadev, and he sent me here to find out who's stealing his flowers." And Radharani said, "But we come here every day. No one ever bothered us. We don't know about any King Kamadev." He said, "Anyway, he sent me to find out who's stealing his flowers, so now I caught you. You're a big thief." "How dare you call me a thief?" I said, "Yes, you're a thief. I can prove it. Just see. The beauty of your eyes has been stolen from the lotus petals of Braj. The beauty of your lips has been stolen from the bimba fruits of Braj. The beauty of your hair has been stolen by the clouds over Braj. The beauty of your nose has been stolen from the sesame flowers of Braj. The beauty of your waist has been stolen from the lions of Braj." In this way, I didn't even know the end of this pastime. It goes on and on and on, and Krishna proves that Radharani is a big thief. She's completely plundered his Braj. And this Kusum Sarovar is one of the most beautiful places in all of Braj. It is built by the Maharaj of Bharatpur, Jawaharlal Singh. His father Surajmal managed to chase all of the Mughals out of Braj, but they ambushed him near Delhi and he was killed. So his son Jawaharlal decided that he would avenge his father's death and build a beautiful monument. and how they built this beautiful monument, this huge, enormous dome. Without Larsen and Trubru, I have no idea. So up above, when we climb up underneath that dome, we see so many beautiful paintings there of Krishna's Leela. Beside the Kund, beside Kusum Sarovar, we find Uddhav Mandir. Because although Bhagavatam describes that all the queens of Dwarka were kidnapped by Krishna in the disguise of some highwaymen, the Skanda Puran describes probably another kalpa that Maharaj Parikshit brought all the queens to Delhi. And there they took bath in the Kalindi, and they saw that she was flowing very sweetly and happily, and said they knew Kalindi is also a wife of Lord Krishna. How are you so happy? And she says, I have benediction from Radharani that I never feel separation from the Lord. How do we get that benediction? He said, you go to Govardhan, to Kusumban, and you do Harinam Sankirtan, and there Uddhav is living in the form of grass and creeper, and he will recite Srimad Bhagavatam to you. So they went there, they did Nam Sankirtan, Uddhav appeared. You see inside the temple, Uddhav sitting with his Srimad Bhagavatam, reciting Bhagavatam to the gopis and to the queens of Dwarka. And they, at the end of Bhagavatam, they were filled with so much ecstasy, they could no longer feel separation from Lord Krishna. A little ways up the road is Narada Ban and Narada Kund, on the left side away from the hill, inside a little ways. One time, Narad Muni came to Braj and he was glorifying Krishna very sweetly. And Lord Krishna said, hey Narad, why don't you do your bhajan here? And Narad Muni said, but Prabhu, I would love to, but I'm cursed. I cannot stay anywhere for more than a few minutes. And Krishna said, Are Narad, that's in the material world. This Brajadam is not part of the material world. Don't think you're in the material world anymore. You're in Braj on this Prikrama. We left the material world behind. This is non-different from the Golok Dham. So Narad Muni did his bhajan here. He wrote Narada Pancharatna and so many other devotional literatures he wrote in this place. One time, he was at Kusum Sarovar and he was lamenting to Brinda Devi that in the springtime, the Rasa Leela takes place on the side of Govardhan Hill. So he wanted to be able to see that Rasa Leela. Now you may know that no male person is allowed to see that. So Narad Muni was a little distressed. And Brinda Devi said, no problem. She took Narad Muni to the northeast corner of the Kund. She dipped him in the water and he came out as a beautiful gopi named Naradi. Just like we've got a wonderful god sister in Atlanta named Naradi. So she went to the end of Govardhan Hill at Rasastali, and there she was able to take darshan of the Ras Leela, Vasant Ras, the springtime Ras Leela. Just like now it's Kartik, the Maharas takes place in Vrindavan town, but the Vasant Ras takes place at the end of Govardhan Hill. So after Narad Muni returned, then Brinda Devi took him to the southwest corner and dipped him in the water, and he again became Narad Muni. And there's a beautiful temple there. It was a broken down place, a very small temple, but one Baba, Dinabandhu Sharan, just like my name is Dinabandhu Das, so his name is Dinabandhu Sharan, because he's in a branch of the Nimbarka Sampradaya, where instead of saying Das, they put Sharan. Just like we know from Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharmam Prijata Mamikam Sharanam Braja. So to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, or to become the Das of the lotus feet of the Lord, same thing. Now I've never seen the scripture, but anyway, Dinabandhu tells this is the place where Narad Muni brought Kayadu. Now you may ask, who's Kayadu? Some of you are probably scholars who remember this is the mother of Prahlad Maharaj, the wife of Hiranyakashipu. So he couldn't have an ashram anywhere else because we know he can't stay any place, so it makes sense. So he brought Kayadu here, and at that time, Prahlad was 7 months within the womb. So he was conscious. And Narad Muni instructed his mother in the science of bhakti. But she doesn't remember so much. But Prahlad was in the womb, he heard everything. So it's very important for the ladies, when they're with child, especially after 7 months, they read the scriptures and they chant very loud for the benefit of their sons. So Narad Muni, within the womb of his mother, he heard the whole science of bhakti and became the great devotee that we know, one of the 12 Mahajans, Narad Muni. So this is a very beautiful place, and my friend Dinabandhu Sharan is fixing it up very nicely. He's planted so many beautiful trees. We're sitting underneath a Kadamba tree here, and there's a Paras people. Paras people, it looks like a people tree, but in this Kartik season, it gets 5 different flowers. Red and yellow and every color in between. 5 different colored flowers come on this one tree. And he's made a huge temple there with beautiful deities of Radha and Krishna, life-size brass deities of Radha and Krishna, called Priya Priyatam. On the other altar is Narad Muni, and then on the left altar, a beautiful deity of Narad Muni, life-size deity of brass deity of Narad Muni, playing on his Veena. On the left side we see Hans Bhagwan, because the Nimbarka Sampradaya traces their lineage back to the Swan avatar of the Lord. And then we see Narad Muni, and he's also in that disciplic succession, and 4 Kumaras, and Nimbarkacharya, and his main disciple, Srinivas. And he's building a huge temple there, and we're very happy to see this beautiful garden and temple. Continuing our Govardhan Prikrama, we eventually come to Manasi Ganga, where we see a big brand new temple built over the Mukharavind of Govardhan. Here all day long we'll find people offering sweets and pouring milk over this wonderful Shila. There's another Shila standing up straight beside it. Then you can see the mark of Krishna's peacock feather in the stone. That stone is called Mukutmani. So here, all day long, people are pouring milk over this stone. And making offerings, because this is, at least for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this is where we consider the lotus mouth, Mukharavind of Govardhan, and it juts out into a beautiful lake. What happened was Krishna killed that Vatsasura. Vatsasura was in the form of a calf. So the cowboys, they refused to have anything to do with him. They said, "You've done a big sin. You have killed a calf." He said, "What do I have to do to get free from this sin?" And the cowboy said, "You'll have to take bath in the Ganga." And the Lord said, "Are, Ganga is very far away from this place. How can I be away from you for so long? I will bring Ganga here by my meditation." And Krishna sat down, and by his meditation, Manasa means mind, he brought Ganga to this place. So this became known as Manasi Ganga, and he took his bath, and then the cowboys would play with him. Now this Ganga is non-different from the other Ganga. Actually this one, since it's created by Krishna's mind, is 1,000 times more purifying than the original Ganga. One time Nanda Baba was planning to go packing up, and they were cooking so many things, and Krishna said, "What's the matter?" And Nanda Baba said, "We're going to Ganga." He said, "You don't have to pack up. Ganga's just right here on the side of Govardhan." "Are Lala, what are you talking?" He took Nanda Baba by the finger, and he brought Nanda Baba and all the Vrishpasis here and said, "This is Ganga." "Are Lala, how do we know this is Ganga?" At that point, Mother Ganga, riding on a crocodile, appeared on the top of the water, and she explained to Nanda Baba that this is the Ganga created by Krishna's mind. On the far side, we see a very tall temple. That is called Chakleshwar Mahadev and Chakra Tirth. When Krishna was lifting the hill, his Sudarshan Chakra came over this place and was spinning around to keep all the water away from the hill. So this came to rest here at this place called Chakra Tirth. And just in front of Chakleshwar Mahadev, we have this bhajan kutir of Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami stayed here for a long time, doing prikrama every day. And even in his old age, he was doing prikrama. But Krishna took pity upon him and told him, you don't have to do prikrama like this every day. He gave him one stone with his footprint, his cowherd stick print, his flute print, and the footprint of one of his cows. And he said, you just go around this 4 times. It's just as good as Govardhan prikrama. And every year, Sanatana Goswami used to take all of the sadhus of Braj on prikrama of Manasi Ganga on the Guru Purnima day. But that particular Guru Purnima 500 years ago, when they all came to Sanatana Goswami's bhajan kutir, they yelled out, Radhesham, Radhesham, Haribol, Haribol. And there was no answer. And they saw that Sanatana Goswami had entered the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And all the Vaishnavas were crying and crying. So that Guru Purnima, that is one of the biggest prikramas of Govardhan. They call it Mudya Purnima. Because when someone dies, we shave our head. That's called Mundan or Mudya in Brijbhasa. It's a huge prikrama. So they took Sanatana Goswami to the foot of Madan Mohan temple in Vrindavan and placed him in Samadhi there. So we find his Samadhi there in Vrindavan at the foot of Madan Mohan. Nearby, we find the temple of Haridev. Because Bhadranabh, he established 4 devs in Braj. In Mathura, we have Keshav Dev. In Vrindavan, we have Govinda Dev. In Gokul, we have Baladev. And in Govardhan, we have Haridev. So we see a beautiful temple there with Giriraj, with his Krishna with his hand lifting high in the air, and beautiful eyes and beautiful decoration. Enormous temple is there that's been recently remodeled by Braj Vikas Trust. And fortunately they made some nice steps. Before it was quite big steps, and when you're doing prikrama, it was quite a task to climb all those steps. And Mahaprabhu came in this temple, and he danced, seeing the arm of Giriraj lifted high in the sky, and was dancing like anything. And all the people were astonished, and they thought, this is our Brijendanandan Shyam Sundar. But instead of a dark color, he's in golden color. And instead of flute, he's carrying a sannyas staff. But they were astonished at the ecstatic features of Mahaprabhu dancing in front of the deity. And here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it describes in front of this deity, Mahaprabhu was chanting a very beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam from the chapter called Venu Geet. Antaya madriya bala haridasa varjo yad Rama Krishna charanam sparasham pramoda manam tanoti sahago ganayostayor yad pani yasuyava sakhanda rakhanda mulai. This is all the gopis are speaking, and they say, oh girls, this hill is the most bestest devotee of Hari. Hantaya madriya bala haridasa bharja yad Rama Krishna charanam sparasha pramoda. Pramoda means joyful. He's very joyful because he's getting the charan sparish, the touch of the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram as they're herding the cows all over Govardhan. And he's serving Krishna and Balaram and the cowherd boys. Manam tanoti sahagoganayos tayoryat. Paniya. The first word that our foreign devotees learn is pani. Oh Prabhu, where's pani? Where's water? Paniya suyavasa, grass for the cows. Kandara means caves to hide from the sun and from the rain. And kandamulai, fruits and roots. Because the cowherd boys, they're 24 hours a day hungry, so Govardhan is supplying so many fruits and roots for them. Kanda, mulai. Mulai means root. Just like in Kartik, we see everywhere all the pushkars carrying this white radish, this root, a muli. Nearby we find Brahmakund. Here, one time Krishna and Balaram and all the cowboys were having lunch, and Brahma was thinking that I was such a fool. Those cowboys, when they were taking lunch with Krishna, he was biting his laddu and giving them the Maha Prasad right from his mouth. But since he's Brahma, he can't just go up and ask for some bitten prasadam. So he thought when Krishna finishes eating, he'll come and wash his hands in this kund. So he became a little fish in that kund. But Krishna, he's in everyone's heart. He knows what everybody's doing and thinking. So when he came there with his left hand, he pulled out the water from the kund and washed his hand over on the dust. Because if you want to get the mercy of, the real mercy of Krishna, of the real Braja Prem, then you have to be follower of the Brijavasis. Just like all of us are very fortunate, we are followers of the most dear Brijavasi who spread knowledge of Vrindavan and Govardhan all over the world, Srila Prabhupada. So because we're following him, we'll definitely get the Braja Prem. So this is Brahmakund. Then we come out of Manasi Ganga, go through the town doing Harinam to enliven all of the devotees, not the devotees, the Brajavasis. Then we come to Dan Gati. Gati means a pass. Here Govardhan comes down very low, and there's a pass over the hill. One time the gopis with Radharani, they were going to Govinda Kund, because Bhaguri Rishi was performing a great yagya there. So they were bringing milk and yogurt and ghee, and Krishna set up his tax post, and he was taxing the gopis here at this place. Then after Dangati, in the same area as Damgati, we find ISKCON Govardhan, beautiful palace of the Maharaj of Chhatrapur that was purchased by Giriraj Maharaj and Tamal Krishna Maharaj. In fact, we find Tamal Krishna's Puspa Samadhi there. Then we come to Anior, where the first Anukut ceremony took place. Krishna told all of the cowherdmen and Nanda Maharaj to make a beautiful offering. So this is Anukut Kshetra, and here where the offering was made to Govardhan, and we find the beautiful Sankarshan Kund also there at the base of Govardhan Hill. Hare Krishna.
Let us thank His Grace Deen Bandhu Prabhuji. His Grace Deen Bandhu Prabhuji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So let us continue our parikrama.
According to the Mathura Mahatmya, and as exemplified by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, pilgrims should first bathe in Manasi Ganga and then see Lord Haridev before beginning their Govardhan Parikrama.
Let's also have a beautiful darshan of Haridevs. Wow. Are you all taking the darshan of Haridev?
Yes, Prabhuji.
We purify ourselves by accepting a few drops of water on our heads, and then follow the narrow pathway to the red sandstone temple of Lord Haridev. After Lord Chaitanya danced ecstatically in front of Haridev, he decided to stay at the temple for the night. Balabhadra Bhattacharya cooked his lunch at Brahmakund. Mahaprabhu then bathed in the kund and honored Prasad there. The following day, the Lord began his Govardhan Parikrama. Barely containing his ecstasy, Mahaprabhu constantly recited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Of all the devotees, this Govardhan Hill is the best. Oh, my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balaram, as well as their calves, cows, and cowherd friends with all kinds of necessities. Water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respect to the Lord, being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram. Govardhan Hill appears very jubilant. Govardhan Hill is both non-different from the Lord and his topmost devotee, Haridas Bharya. Srila Prabhupada writes, the identity of Krishna in Govardhan Hill is still honored, and great devotees take rocks from Govardhan Hill and worship them exactly as they worship the deity of Krishna in the temple.
We walk back to the middle of Govardhan town and skirt rickshaws, tractors, and cows before finally taking a right turn onto the Mathura road, which crosses Govardhan Hill. This path, leading to the other side of Govardhan, goes through an area known as Dangati, the place where the taxes were collected. While on their way to Govindakund for a jagya, the gopis were stopped here by Krishna and his cowherd friends, who demanded a toll for all their milk products they were carrying for the sacrifice. A blissful exchange ensued.
Oh, delicate girl, I am shackled by the order of the forest king, whose orders may not be disobeyed. By his order, I do this cruel work of collecting tolls. I am not independent. What can I do? Are you ordered by Kamsa? No, no. By whom then? By the person whose sidelong glance makes Kamsa and a host of others tremble. By he who bears the name Kamdev. Ha! I never heard of any king who bears the name Kamdev.
The morning sunshine is bathing Giriraj in a beautiful reddish glow. As we go further down the road, we begin to see him at his tallest. Soon we arrive at the ISKCON Bhaktivedanta Ashram. This beautiful temple, directly across the road from Govardhan Hill, was previously a castle owned by a king from Madhya Pradesh. Later it was acquired by our dear Tamal Krishna Goswami and Giriraj Swami, who transformed it into an ISKCON monastery. Our senior men take time out and come here for introspection and to deepen their sadhana before
Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you so much. Very beautiful, very wonderful, isn't it? We don't like to stop. We have time constraints. But see, beautiful, so nice, so beautiful. So we are actually entering into Vrindavan, isn't it? You feel that?
Yes, we feel it, but we still cannot remember because for us it's everything new. So we cannot remember all the places, but it is fun to hear all this new thing.
Wonderful, isn't it? Very, very wonderful. Very nice. Yeah. So thank you. So we'll continue tomorrow. We have not reached at the Radhakund. Still, it is still playing. This is the beauty of it.
Mhm.
I was trying to stop it, but it was not allowing me to stop it somehow.
I see.
Okay, so we'll go to
Are
the
we doing?
Damodarashtakam. Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm.
Okay, give me a minute and share this. Everybody's seeing the screen. Damodarashtakam.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, let me see. Who is- Okay, wait a minute. Okay, who is there? Okay. Sachirani Modaji, are you able to sing today?
Yes, sure, Prabhu. No problem. I'd love to.
Okay, let me share. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, 1 minute. I'm just going to try and increase the size. Give me a minute, Prabhu. Jai Shri Damodarashtakam ki jai. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Prajamanam
Namamishwaram
Swaram
Sachidanandarupam
Sachidanandarupam
Lasat
Lasat
Kundalam
Kundalam
Gokule
Gokule
Prajamanam.
Prajamanam.
Everybody, please unmute and recite, please. This is beautiful and beautiful opportunity, all of us. Yeah, please continue, Manoj.
Yashodhabhiyolukalaadavamanam Param Rishtamatiyantyato Drutyagopya
Yashodhabhiyolu kaladhavamanam
Yashodhabhiyolukalaadavamanam
Paramishtamatyanto
Paramishtamatyantato
Drutyagopya.
Rudantam muhurnetram yugam rijantam Karam bhojayugamena satankanetram
Rutandam
Yudantam
muhurnetra yugmam
Munetra Yugam
vijantam
Vijantam
Karam
Karaj
bhoja
Boja
yukmena
Yugamena
sadanganetram.
Satankanetram
Muhushwasakam patrirekakakanta Stita Damodaram Bhaktibattam
Muhushwasa patri
Mushwasa
gangakanda
Sitagreva Damodaram Bhaktibaddham
Bhaktipadam
Iti Driksvalilabhiranandakunde Swagosham Nimajantam Akhyapayantam
Ididritsolila bhirananda
Labhirananda
kunde
Kunde
Sukhusham
Swagosam
nimajandam
Nimanjan
nakyapayandam.
Payantam
Tadiyeshitaneshu Bhaktajitatvam Punha Prematastam Satta Vrittivante
Tadite
Tadishitaneshu
Siteneshu Bhakte
bhaktijidatvam
Jitatvam
Puna
Puna
prematastam
Prematastam
sada
Sata
vrittivande.
Vrittivande
Varam Deva Moksham Na Moksham Vadim Va Nachanyam Vrineham Vari Shadapiha
Varam
Varam
deva
Deva
moksham da
Moksham
musham
Moksha
vadimva
Vadimva
na janyam
Nachanyam
vrineham vare
Vrineham Vari
sadapiha.
Shadapiha
Idam Tiva Purnatha Gopal Balam Sada Me Manasha Virashtam Kimanye
Idam te
Idante
vapurnatha
Purnatha
gopala
Gopala
balam
Balam
Gopalabalam
Sada
Sada
me
me
manasya
manasya
virastam
virastam
kimanhi.
kimanhi.
Idam te mukham bhojam atyanta niler vritam kuntale snigdha raktascha gopya.
Idam
Idam
te
te
mukham
Kambojam
mukhamboja
Atyantarya
matyanile vrutam
Vritam
Dharaktasya
kuntales
gopya.
ya
Muhuschumbitam bimba raktadharam me manasi avirashtam alam lakshalabhye.
Muhuschumbidam
Chumbitam bimcha
bimbarakadharam me
raktadharam me
manasya
manasya
virashtam
virashtam
alam
alam
lakshalabhe.
lakshalabhe.
Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Prasiddha Prabhu Dukha Jalabdhi Magnam.
Namo
Namo
Deva
Deva
Damodarananda
Damodarananda
Vishnu
Vishnu
Prasidam
Prasida
Prabhu
Prabhu
Dukha
Dukha
Jalabdhi
Jalabdhi
Magnam.
Magnam.
Kripa Drishti Vrishtiyati Dinam Batano Grihane Shamamadnyam Edi Akshidrishe.
Kripa Drishti
Drishti
Vrishyadi
Bhaktya
Dinam
Pasidam
Vadano
Vatanu
Grihane
Grihane
Shamamastam
Shamamadhyamiti
Nedakshi Drishya.
Akshidrasya.
Kuviratmaja Upatta Murtaiva Yadvat Tvaya Mochita Bhakti Bhaja Kritaucha.
Kuviratmajau
Kuviratmajam
Baddha Murtaiva
Murte
Yadva
Yadata
Tvaya
Tvaya
Mochito
Mochito
Bhakti
Bhakti
Bhajau
Bhajo
Kritam
Kritocha.
Cha.
Tatha Prema Bhaktim Swakam Me Prayacha Namokshe Graho Misti Damodareha.
Tatha
Tada prema
prema
bhaktim
bhaktim
sukame
svakamuni
priyacha
prayacha
namokshi
namokse
grihomi
graho me
damodareha.
damodareha.
Namaste Sudamne Spuradipti Damne Tvadiyodharayatha Vishwasya Damne.
Namaste
Namaste
studhamne
sudamne
spuradhiptidamne
spuditidamane
sudhiyodharayatha
tvadiyodharayat
visvasya
visvasya
dhamne.
damane.
Namo Radhikaye Tvadiya Priyaye Namo Nantalilaya Devayatupyam.
Namo
Namo
Radhikaya
radhikaye
Yodiya
tvadiya
Priyaye
priyaye
Namo
namo
Nandalilaya
nandalilaya
Devaya
devaya
Tobhyam.
tubhyam.
Namo Radhikaye Tvadiya Priyaye Namo Nantalilaya Devayatupyam.
Namo
Namo
Radhikaya
radhikaye
Yodiya
tvadiya
Priyaye
priyaye
Namo
namo
Nandalilaya
nandalilaya
Devaya
devaya tubhyam.
Tobhyam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Jai Shri Damodar Ashtakam ki jai, Jai Shri Damodar ki jai.
Jai Shri
Hare
Radha. Gauri Premanande, Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol.
Please read the translation if you can. Yeah. Please go one by one. Devotees, please read the translation.
Okay, Prabhu.
To the Supreme Lord, whose form is embodiment of her external existence, knowledge, bliss, whose sharp-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Goloka,
Gokula.
Gokula, whom I, due to offense of breaking the parts of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a string, is quickly running from the wooden
Grinding mortar.
grinding mortar is a fear of Mother Yasoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with a greater speed. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisance.
Yeah. Second one.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck. Oh, yeah, I lost the screen. Okay, I'm back. Which is marked with three lines like a conch shell is shaking. Sorry, is shaking because of his. Give me a minute.
Quick breathing.
No. I because of his quick breathing due to crying. To the Supreme Lord Shri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. Hare Krishna.
I'll go for the third one, Prabhu. By such childhood pastimes as this, he's drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times.
Fourth one. Buddhists are still there or they left?
Oh, we have 9 people.
With my screen.
I'll read it. O Lord, although you are eligible to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikunta, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 process of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Balagopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? Go
O
ahead.
Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimbad fruit. May this beautiful vision of 1 minute. Your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
Yeah. Sixth one. Please go ahead.
I can read. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisance unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor, ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrow and become visible to my eyes.
Yeah. 7.
Oh, I read the next one, Prabhu.
Okay.
O Lord Damodara, just as the two sons of Koera, Manigriv and Nalkovera, were delivered from the curse of Nard and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give to me your prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. Very good.
Very good. Yeah. 8. O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisance to the brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisance to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. Humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Shri Radha Damodar Ji ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Thank you. Very good.
Vanchakalpadurubhasya kripa sindhubhya
Cha.
bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavyo namo namah.
Namah. Jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada
Krishna,
ki
everybody.
Jai.
Jai.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.